Hey there, Wendy here with Jazzydoodledesigns. And guys, look at this beautiful gift that I just got from a subscriber. She wrote, "Happy birthday, Wendy. I really love your channel and appreciate all you do for us. I know they're not fancy pencils, but I've heard good things, and I was wondering what you thought of them. Thanks again, S." And that's all it says. And there was no information in the Amazon package who that was from. S, whoever you are, I appreciate you as well. And you have no idea what it means to me that you thought of me. But I have heard good things about these pencils too, so I'm anxious to take a look. So let's begin our review, shall we? As far as packaging, they came in an Amazon, like paper, it was almost like a padded envelope, and then it was wrapped in bubble wrap, and then there was like plastic film type of packaging on the outside. I have not opened these yet. So let's take this off. And it says 72 saturates colors. Easy to blend, 3.8 millimeter soft core, break resistant lead, wide range of colors, highly saturated pigments. But for now, the part that everyone really wants is this part. Look at those pencils. Aren't they pretty? There's something about new pencils. I don't care how many sets you have. Could I mess them up already? Yes, I could. Okay. So they've got the flimsy, things. All right. So there's the color range. It's kind of interesting. They've got these random pinks like popped in. Obviously, they'll have to go in the Jazzydoodledesign color order. But let's take a look at a pencil. How about this one? Okay. Let me get a piece of paper. All right. Let me zoom you in so we can take a look together. All right. So there's a barcode. There's very, very small numbers. I guess that's the barcode numbers. I don't know. This one says 4 for the light fastness. Then it says WP471 Cobalt Turquoise. Now, I can tell you right now, I have pretty good eyes, and that is ridiculously hard to read. Can you even get a feel for it? They have a gold-plated background, and then they've removed the gold to create the words. On this side, it says WCP01, made in China, Woomer, a little cat, and then colored pencil. I don't know if the cat is maybe their brand. Oh. So they're very smooth going down. They feel more like an oil pencil to me. I have no idea what they are. So what I'm going to do, though, is let's look at another pencil and just see if it's easier to read. Okay. So this one is WP149 Chili Pepper, spelled CHILLI, pepper. So I always have a debate with myself when I'm creating my swatch charts. So let me know in the comments which you prefer. Do you prefer I spell it like they spell it, or do you want me to put the correct spelling? Because obviously chili pepper is just one L, but they spell it with 2. So do you want it to match the pencil or be correct? Let me know. The pencils are very smooth. They do have a dipped end. They feel nice in the hand. They're not super heavy, but they, they do have like, looks like a balsa type of wood. What's nice is they don't have that white line right there. So I'm going to swatch these out, get them in order, and then I'll be back. And then maybe we'll color something with them. Okay guys, I am back. I put these in my color family order, and I think overall it's actually a good set as far as a palette. I do like that there's some step ups. There are some kind of random colors, like this taupe gray doesn't really fit in with any of the other grays. It's not necessarily a bad color, but same with this cadet blue. It's like, I thought it was interesting their cold gray 3 is darker than their cold gray 4. And to me, this cold gray 4 is almost, it's a much warmer tone than the cold gray 3. But it's not, it's a little cooler than these colors. So this warm gray 3 and this city gray, I think, go pretty well together. I wish it had like an ivory. I really hate when sets don't have that light ivory, light tan kind of color. That's a color I always kind of look for. But I absolutely love this Caribbean Sea. I think that's beautiful. I love when sets have a really nice light tones. I wish it had a little more lights and a couple of more darks. To me, these seem a lot mid-level, which is very typical of budget pencils. Now, that being said, they lay down very, very smoothly, and they have a nice feel to them when they lay down. They're a little on the softer side, meaning the pencil tips. Let's see. I'll show you what I mean. Like just picking a couple of these at random here. So I swatched these out essentially, I think 3 times to get them in the order that I could live with. You can see where the tips, can you see? Let's see. Let me zoom you in. You can see where these tips are pretty worn down because they are a little bit softer. So they don't hold a point quite as well as, say, something like a Polychromos. They're not quite as soft as something like a Prisma, but they do have a very, very smooth lay down. There's no drag to them when you use them. They're also what I would call a faster lay down, meaning I'm going to get as far back as I can here. And I can go really, really light. But you can see it still puts down a nice layer of pigment, even that far back. So, as far as swatching, I've been real impressed. So I am going to go ahead and color a picture with them and then give you my thoughts as to how they layer, how they blend, and then we'll actually do a full. Okay, so let's take a look here. So we've got Woomer is the brand. So availability, I'm only going to give them 2 stars. I only see them on Amazon and Etsy. Or not Etsy, eBay. And they're more expensive by 50% more on Etsy. And then I guess you could probably buy them directly. Okay, you can't even buy them from Woomer. They're not listed on their site. The cost per pencil is 42 cents. because you get 72, so the number available is 72. So I would say that's probably like 3 stars. Number available, we're going to give them 2 stars because there's 72 isn't bad, but that's the only size you can get them. They are not open stock. Do the barrels match the swatch? So let's take a peek. I pulled out a few. I think this is good. I think this one is good. I think this one is good. 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 I think they do match very well. I didn't run into a single problem when I was coloring with them. So we'll give them 5 stars for that. Are they pigmented? They are very pigmented. To save time, I went ahead and counted these all up. There's 7 pink, 6 red, 3 orange, 4 yellow, 5 green, 6 blue-green, and blue and green-blue, right? So like these colors and then these colors here, okay? 9 blues, 6 purples, 5 browns, 5 grays. I do not think that they have a good light-dark mix. I think they're mostly mid-tones, personally. No metallics and no neons. Overall, though, I will say I like the palette in the sense that we have a nice progression from red to orange, or Wendy, from yellow to orange to red and to our deeper reds. Nice set of pinks, nice purples, blues. I like that we at least have some step-ups. So not a lot of dark darks. You know, these are kind of like your darkest tones here, which to me are a little more mid-tone. But they do have some lights and not a lot of samey. These two are pretty samey. And you could make an argument for yellows. But in my opinion, you can make that argument in just about every set of pencils with yellows. I like that we've got the blue greens and then more traditional greens and then some more olivey greens here. I absolutely hate the grays. I think they're darn near useless because they're just like random grays. These are the only 2 that you can even step up, and I had to pair them with a brown. And the cold gray 4 is lighter than the cold gray 3. It's also warmer. And then we've got this taupe gray totally thrown in the mix. I guess you could make an argument that it could be here, but it's a lot more red when you put them side by side. So I just think that the grays are trash. But that being said, I would give this palette 4 stars. Now, pencil appearance and feel. The feel of the pencil is good. It feels good in the hand. It's not a super heavy pencil. It doesn't make me feel like it's gonna fly out of my hand for being light. They do say they have a light fast rating on them. I would encourage you to check out Art Journey on YouTube if you're interested. She did test the light fastness of these, and while they aren't awful, they're not. She tested them for 2 weeks and then a month, I think. And in a month, there was maybe 3 or 4 pencils that had reduced lightness. But we're talking 1 month, not 100 years. So if that's something that interests you, I would consider them not light fast. I certainly wouldn't do any works of art that you're going to sell. That being said, the pencil feels good. It has a nice dipped end. However, absolutely, probably the worst for reading what the pencil says. Let me zoom way in case you missed it earlier. I think I talked about it. You can't even read it. Now on this pencil, I can. I'll try and get that in the camera for you. You can read that one, but can you read this one? Not very well. How about this one? That one's better, but some of these are just horrendous. And then others are, you can read them. So I'm gonna ding them on that. I'm gonna drop them to 2, because if your pencil loses light fast in 2 weeks to a month, it's not light fast. So you're marking things that are light fast when maybe they're, I guess it depends on your definition of light fast. Also, I can't read your names. But I do like that they have a number, so let's give them an extra half a star, because they do have a name, they do have a number. Okay, so we got our orange one here. Let's see how long it takes to fill our little square here. These have what I call a faster laydown. I am using a pressure of maybe, I don't know, a 2, like normal handwriting pressure. I'm not pushing hard, but it really fills up this box quickly. Here's a second layer. We'll do one more. So I think they do very well. They're very pigmented. I'm not even going to test for water solubility, because we all know that pencils react, and I don't even know why that's on there. All right, so let's talk about blending. I am going to blend this, the chili red, the orange, and the sunflower yellow, okay? And let's just see how they do. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. But let's just see in general. All right. You're already starting to see a nice mix of color there. Okay. You can see these blend beautifully with each other. And I mean, they're not ridiculously spaced out, but it's not like they're right next to each other in terms of color, right? There's some steps in between. But I can blend these out really well. So I'm going to give them 5 stars for blending. I also want to briefly talk about, let's do some layering. So, because I noticed that these also layer very nice. So they're pigmented, but you can see that you can layer them to mix in really nice. We're getting a nice kind of violet color over here. Let's go with our pink and a yellow. to get that nice orangey kind of color. And then and look at that beautiful green that we're getting. Okay. Let's talk about layers to capacity. So let's pick this red. Okay. So let's put our first layer down. Okay. Whoop. Better start here. Okay, so there's 2. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm starting to get into the burnishing, right? Let's see if we can do one more. Okay. So I think they did really good. I would say somewhere in this area, these 2, is where I'm starting to have to kind of put a little more pressure to get that next layer. Here it was very light. You could see the layers going down. So what is this? This is 5. By the 5th layer, I felt like I had to put just a touch more pressure on. By 6, I had to, I would say, start to kind of burnish it a little bit. And then 7 is definitely a burnish. But I think that they did very well. So other things to note, when I was sharpening, there was, I think, 3 pencils that over the course of my using them, where I felt like the core had broken because the entire, this piece of the pencil just came out. Let's zoom in and let's take a look at our opacity. I would say what's interesting about these is they're pretty vibrant on black. Let me get a darker one. So even the darker one shows up pretty well. And yet when we try to layer them, I feel like you can really see the color popping through. It's a nice mix. So I would, as an awareness, they're not going to be transparent like a polychromos, but not quite as opaque as something like a luminance. Obviously, I mean, it's $30. So now everyone's favorite part of the journey when he does math. So we have 2, 5, 7, 17, 21, 23 and a half, 28 and a half, 33 and a half, 38 and a half. So 38.5. So who do I think this set would be for? I would say it is a very nice set of pencils. I think it would be very good for someone starting out with colored pencils, especially if you're just trying to figure out, do you really like working with colored pencils? Because I feel like they're not as expensive as Prismas, and yet they have beautiful blending and layering capabilities to where you can really expand the colors by creating your own colors as well. I think it would be perfect for younger teens, or let's just say, I'm going to call them kids, but kids that are just maybe inspiring artists, and you want to give them a nice enough supply to really drive their interest in art, because there's nothing worse than using crappy pencils. Because if you're using a pencil that doesn't put out the pigment and you're struggling to get layers, you're going to push too hard, you're going to develop bad habits, and you're not going to enjoy the process, and your hands are going to hurt. These are also good for people with hand problems because they have a beautiful lay down. You don't have to use any pressure at all in order to blend or to use them, and yet you can get some really vibrant colors. So those are the people that I think would enjoy these sets. I think the biggest holdback for me is you can't get them open stock. Other than that, though, I think they're terrific, and I will definitely use them again. I enjoyed using them very much in this book, The Bear Therapy. And if you look on my channel tomorrow, there will be a color along using these pencils so you can see them in action. And I would encourage you to look because this book is so cute. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that page tomorrow. Until next time, happy. Thank you for watching another video from Jazzydoodledesigns. If you enjoy adult coloring content, please consider subscribing. You can now find me on Instagram and Facebook as well. I welcome all comments and suggestions. Don't forget to like the video before you go. And until next time, take care.